Hello, welcome to Chemistry for Non-Science Majors. Now this is an online course, as you probably already know because you did enroll in it, and I want to emphasize this is for non-science majors. So if you are a liberal arts student and you need a science component, this does count. But if you're wanting to major in chemistry or something like that, then we probably need to put you into and make sure that you get enrolled into my Gen Chem 1 course. But this is for non-science majors, and the purpose of this video is just to kind of walk you through a little bit through Moodle, how my Moodle page is set up. Every instructor is a little bit different. I know some of you guys have seen Moodle, been in Moodle, probably know more about it than I do, but I just want to give you kind of the ins and outs and let you know a little bit of the expectations of what's going on in this course. And so when you open it up, this is what you're going to see. You're already here, obviously, or you wouldn't be watching the video. There's a couple things that I want you to go ahead and start with. The first thing is make sure that you open up the syllabus and look through the syllabus, read it, and you can get there by clicking this blue button right there. If you have any questions over it, please don't hesitate to contact me with any questions that you have. The other thing that I want to show you guys and to make sure that you guys are aware of is we do have a course email. Now this is where I would prefer you to email me from, and the reason why is I can't delete it. It doesn't get sent to my junk mail. I do get notifications in my school email that tells me that you have emailed me, but it's just a really good record of emails that I can't get lost. And sometimes when I have a lot of emails coming in, sometimes they get sent to the junk or the spam, and I don't ever get those. But here, if you send it through this course email, I will for sure get it. Now there's another link. Let me scroll down under correspondence, and that is Message Miss Morley. These are both the same thing. You click on both of them, it's going to take you to the same place. Now you cannot message your classmates with this email. You can only message me. Now I will send out some messages through there as well. Now you have 12 steps with the getting started. I want you guys to look through this, make sure that you read the syllabus. You do need the book. The book is required. We are using Chemistry for a Changing Time, and the ISB number can be found in the syllabus and in the Start Here book that we'll look at here in just a second. It is not optional, just to make sure you get that. You also need to get a lab manual. Now it's not the lab manual that my Gen Chem 1 students have to have, and that's also found in the Start Here. So make sure that you get those as soon as possible so you can get started on this course. Just kind of going through the course resources. This is the Start Here. This is the book that I am talking about. I want you guys to open that up. It has the same, it has welcome, meet, figure out who I am, what's going on, what all do I bring to the class. There's just the description. Now some of this does come out of the syllabus, but some of it does not. The materials that you need here are the required books. You also need to make sure that you have a calculator that can do exponential numbers. Log is not as important, but just make sure that you can do exponential numbers with those. You don't have to go and buy a fancy calculator. We just need something simple to multiply, add, and subtract and divide. Okay, you also need to be able to open up my PDFs. If there are PDFs, you also need a Microsoft Office on some of the assignments. The assignment schedule, if you click on this link right here, it will bring up your assignments and the when everything is due. Okay, and then your grades and how everything is broken down on there, and then you guys do have some forums. Now I will go ahead and tell you guys this, that you have 6 exams. 5 of the exams, the first 5, are section exams, and those must be proctored. Now if you live within the area of Altus and you can come into Western and take your exam, you can use the testing center. Now if you can't, or you're not available during the hours that the testing center is open, then you can also use another Oklahoma State approved testing center, or you can use ProctorU. Now I will tell you that the testing center at Western is free to students that are enrolled at Western, ProctorU, you do have to pay, and then the price of it increases the closer you get to testing time. So if you know that you're going to have to use ProctorU, go ahead and schedule those exams. The date of the exams are found in your assignment schedule. So go ahead and get those scheduled, and that way that you don't have to pay the extra. I do not extend times on exam dates, so make sure that you take those, because basically once they close, you can go back in and you can review those. And so if for some reason you did not take it, this will be the exam that you can drop. I do let you drop your lowest exam grade, and if for some reason you don't take one, that will be the one that gets dropped. On the exams, just another note that I want to mention real quick is that you have 50 minutes for each exam. The questions range from 25 to 33, depends on the questions, and you are allowed to use, I will provide a periodic table and ion sheet when it's needed. You can use your calculator, so make sure that you bring one in, and that you can also use a 4x6-inch note card. Now it has to be handwritten. You can write anything you want, front and back. It just has to be handwritten on those and not photocopied. So those are some additional information for your exams. Now another big component of your grade is your lab grade. Now you're going to have a lab project. Now kind of think of this as a science fair experiment. And so you're going to come up with a project, and it has to be related to something that we're learning in the class. And you're going to, there's two parts to it. The first part is you're going to have a research plan, so you're going to plan it out. And I'll show you where to get some of those resources from, where to come up with an idea for this project. Don't wait until the very end to start working on it. Start thinking about it and start working on it now. Okay, so that's a big part of your lab grade. Now the other two lab grades is you're going to have a, it's either mail in or you can scan it and upload it into Moodle, and I'll show you where you can do that here in just a second. And this is from the yellow library or laboratory handbook that you get. That's your quote lab manual for this class, and so there's some pages out of there. And then you have another one that is molecular shapes. Now I say mail-in assignment. You can scan those in and submit it through Moodle. You can mail them in. If you're on campus, you can drop them by my office. I do have a basket outside my door, so please, if you do drop something off by my office and I'm not here, if you'll just put it in the basket. If it gets slid under the door, sometimes it gets lost. Also make sure that you put your writing in, or your name and pen, that way someone can't come along and erase it. Okay, so go ahead. I want you to go through and to read the rest of this book. Okay, some other components of this class is, here's ways to get hold of me. I will be doing course announcements. I'll send out what to do the week, what's going on. If you have questions and you want to ask the class and not just me, you can go ahead and ask questions here. We also have a live chat. If we want to make arrangements, we can. And that kind of answer or Q&A that we have, and everybody can join in. So those are some of the ways that we will interact with each other. Now you're getting started. There's 3 assignments that you have to do. Okay, the first one is a discussion forum. Number 1, this is introduction. Who are you? Okay, that's basically, we're all going to get through this class together, so I want to know a little bit who you are, and so do your classmates. Okay, you're not just some computer, you're not just some number, you're an actual person, so we want to know who that person is. The other thing that you have to do, and this is for a grade, is proctoring, the exam proctoring survey. Lets me know where you're planning on taking your exam, and that way we get the process of thinking of, am I going to use ProctorU or am I going to use Western? Okay, and then there's also some introduction steps feedback. So once you go through the syllabus and the start here and you do these 2 assignments, then I want you to go through and take this quiz. It's a pretty simple quiz. It's just kind of reaffirming what is being said in the syllabus and your other in the Start Here book. Okay, I also have an assignment schedule that's right here. I also have my office hours for when I am on campus, and so if you need to come by and see me, you can open that up and kind of see where I am. If those hours don't work for you and you know you're going to be on campus, just email me and we can make arrangements if at all possible. Okay, the next section that you have is for all your labs. I just grouped them all together. So lab assignment 1 If you wanted to, there's 15 pages. This is from the lab packet from the bookstore. You can scan these in. You can take photocopies with your cell phone and scan them in and upload them that way. To do that, we have the pages. There's two different, they're the same edition, just different covers. So the page numbers may be different, but most of you guys are going to have the yellow cover, so it's going to be these pages right here. I do not want, when you submit this, all I want are the pages you actually wrote on. Okay, so there is some reading, you need to keep that for your own, but just turn in the pages that you actually answered the questions on. You can go to the add submission and you can upload those pictures. This is the preferred way that I'd like for you guys to turn these in, but I also understand sometimes you don't have access to a scanner, so you can mail them. Just make sure that they're postmarked by the due date that we have. Okay, and so those are the two assignments, and the same thing with molecular shapes. You click on there. Here's the assignment. I also put it in a Word document, and you can scan that and also put that in. Also, in this is the lab project resources. I want you to go through and read that. It gives you an idea what the lab project is. If at any time you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Come by and see me or email me or call me. You will have two components of it. The first one is the research plan. This is due the Friday before fall break, or spring break, sorry. This is due so that it has you already thinking. I can also look through it and make sure that it is college level. So this project isn't elementary level. I want it to be on the college level, and so this gives me an idea to make sure that you're on the right track, and I can give you suggestions that may be needed. Okay, and so then you have your term project. This is going to be a PowerPoint that you're going to turn in. Now, I will tell you this ahead of time, that I need to know that you're the one that's actually doing the research and that you just didn't Google it and put in somebody else's information. So make sure that you're taking pictures as you go. Include yourself in the pictures. I've also had students that have videoed. They did a reaction, and so they videoed the reaction taking place with them in it, and that was kind of neat, and that was a good way of validating that they were actually there. So as you're working on this, as you're doing the experiment, make sure that you're taking pictures and documenting it, because you are going to make a PowerPoint, and that's going to be your term project. Great, and that's going to be a big portion. Both of these are 20% of your lab grade, and your lab grade is 25%, so it's basically 20% of your overall, and then these are going to be 5% of those. Okay, and then underneath that are going to be your sections. There's 5 sections in this course. They're all designed the same. I have listed here when the exam is. Okay, so make sure that you take the exam or schedule the exam and that you have enough time. So even though you have 50 minutes, you can't come in and be like, well, I'm going to take the exam at 11:55 p.m. on February 2nd. No, you need to make sure you schedule that before and that you give yourself enough time for those. Okay, and then you have your discussion forum. Each section has one discussion that everybody is going to participate in. You're going to have an initial post, and then you're going to respond to your classmates. I may even get into the discussions a little bit as well. Okay, this is due January 26th, so make sure that you get in there, and that's for both posts, your original and your reply to your classmates. Make sure that you don't wait until January 26th, because it's kind of hard to reply when everybody does it all on the last day that it's due. So just make sure that you work on that as we go. Okay, then the unit objectives. What are we expected to learn out of here? And then I have your PowerPoints. You are expected to be reading the chapters and looking through the PowerPoints and getting help when you need it. I have some extra resources here. Khan Academy has a lot of really useful resources that are also available. These are not required, they're just very helpful. I highly recommend that you do go through and you look at these. Now, each section has a set of quizzes. These do not count towards your grade. It will show in the grade book, but they do not count towards your grade. The daily quizzes are for your benefit. They help you practice for the exam. So just make sure that you go through these, understand what's going on. If you have questions about them, once again, let me know. And then you have a study guide. These are both the same, just one's a Word document and one's a page. And so same thing, you can just open up whichever one that you prefer. And then you have your exam. Once again, this is a proctored exam, so when you click on it, you have to have the password to be able to get in to see it. Now, the rest of the sections are also set up the same way. Okay, so I want you guys to go through, look through the website. Please contact me if you have any questions, and I look forward to the semester with you.